What is soul work? Soul work is intentional. It is unavoidable. It is understanding that what you believe mirrors and manifests into how you feel and what's created externally. Soul work is a journey of mystery, releasing and surrendering, understanding true peace, right? Through your sixth sense that is otherworldly. Soul work is understanding that suffrage is a part of the journey, not the destination. We don't stop at what the suffering is. We don't stop at what the issue is. We don't stop at where the challenge and the friction is. But yet the soul work is what happens when we go through, what happens when we allow ourselves to jump the obstacles and run the race and engage in the pain and the pleasure and get to the other side. When we're in the darkness, when we're trying to understand, when we're in those moments of void. Soul work is where our values live. It's where our purpose lives. It's where our healing resides. It's where transformation takes place. Soul work is where we come alive. It's where we trust. It's where we listen. It's where we find connection with the divine in others and outside of ourselves. Soul work is where we integrate our shadow, the lightness of our lives and the darkness of our lives, and integrate them into the beautiful being that we are. It's where we find balance of our yin and our yang, our feminine, our masculine, where we see color and find creative expression, even in the moments where we've been in the dark. Mm. Soul work is where our wholeness becomes achieved in acceptance of all parts of us and align the truth of our soul with our actions. It's where we build truth and real authentic relationships with ourselves and with others without shame, guilt, or judgment. I think about when I read the book Yoga and the Dark Night of the Soul, where it really digs deep into coming into the depths of our truth, where sometimes we have to reach that deep despair to even understand what is happening, to even understand what is being uncovered, to even understand what the hell just took place. There is no light without our shadow. There is no psychic wholeness without the imperfections. There are just there's nothing without the ups and the downs. There's nothing without the light and the dark. Our life calls for not for perfection, but for completeness. And the only way we can reach completeness is if we are intentional about doing our soul work. This means bringing in our shadow. This means really engaging with the parts of us that might be icky, that might feel like we need to judge them, that we might be hiding, and integrating them into our daily lives, integrating them into who we are. That is wholeness. That is where we find our being. Soul work. This is soul work. This is what we've all come here to do so that we can find our soul's work. If we don't integrate the light with the dark, how do we know exactly what it is that we are meant to do? Everything cannot be light. Everything cannot just be love, right? We need to love in the dark. We can't just love in the light. We can't just love when things are going perfectly and things are going well and things are feeling fantabulous. We have to love when things are dark. We have to love when things are not going right. We have to love when we're not getting our way. We have to love when we are in that deep, dark place of despair. When we allow ourselves to do our own soul work, this allows us to really understand what our soul's work is. Because in order to know what our soul's mission is, which is always coming back to other people, being in service of other people. We want to stay off the surface of what being in service of other people actually looks like and get down into the root of what actually is. We want to be in service of people who are ready for deep transformative healing, who are ready to heal and transform their generations, who are ready to heal and transform how they parent, their relationships, their parenting, that want to get rid of what is allowing these dark circles and cycles to continue. So if we don't know what the root is, if we don't get to the root of our stuff, right? And we only get to the root of it through hitting those dark places of despair, through doing our soul work, through our complete transformation, how can we be in perfect service of others and giving them exactly what it is they need? In this week's episode of Soul Work with Love, the podcast, and make sure you tune in, I'm talking about the soul work of public health. Some of you may know, some of you probably not. I'm now entering into a fall semester of my master's in public health, and it's all starting to make sense to me. We cannot talk about service to others, which is public health, and we're talking about service to others on a greater scale. What does this look like when we write policy? What does this look like when we create programs? What does this look like when we all are sitting at this round table in our communities with these politicians to start having conversation about what we need, where funding needs to go, even this big, beautiful bill that Mr. Orange just passed? What does the soul of this country, what does the soul of our communities, what does the soul of our leaders look like, and what do we need to actually get to the root of being in service to others? Tune in this week for a powerful episode, a relaunching of my podcast, of what this podcast is moving into, right? What my mission is, and just what we need to do as a collective, as New Earth leaders, to get us on the right path to healing. I love you all for free. Tune in to the new podcast starting August 8th. I'll see you then.